Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Santos and Marcus here. We got a special guest and fellow team member Jeff joining us today. I think we're at week 11, 12.
This
we're
is
getting
12.
up there. Yeah, we're getting up there. And we thank you for joining us on this journey. Jeff, we're just going to welcome you. We started arguing, and then we decided let's get the argument on the podcast because you guys are going to want to know how dumb I am. And we'll say it out loud again. So, Jeff, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Tell us a little bit about you. How long the whole spiel? You know what it is.
Goodness. I've been playing 4-ish years. I started the November before COVID, so November of 19. Just playing by myself. Really, like the first year, I didn't play with anybody. And then Bobcat, who we all have talked about several times, offered to give me some discs and some pointers. And the same day, he was like, "Oh, and by the way, my friend Dan Brooks Wells is coming to play," and we played Bond Lake. So that was a good intro to disc golf with other people.
Yeah.
But since then, I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube and video myself and all that kind of stuff. So just diving into form and body mechanics, because I'm a strength coach by trade. That's what I do, like for my 9 to 5. So body mechanics and how the body should move and efficiency of movement and all that is my forte. And then with all the filming and stuff and watching that I've done, I decided to start YouTube. So I run my own channel, JT Disc Golf.
Down below.
Actually, let's put it over his head.
Put it over Jeff's head.
So, I mean, I just started 2 months ago maybe. So there's not many videos up there, but we're getting it going. I've had a couple shorts get over 1,000 views. I've got an in the bag.
You're in the bags at like 1,000 views.
In
Did
the
you know
bags
that?
1,000 views. Yep. I watch.
You know that? His in the bags at like 1,000 views.
So
I
we're
checked
trying to
out
get some more course vlogs going, like things like that. So tournament prep obviously as the year starts going, things like that. So seeing what happens.
Well, awesome.
I really appreciate we gave Marcus an aha moment when we showed him how to do the editing, where you can take a picture of the disc and then just let the phone do the work for you, because that
cool.
worked well on your
I mean,
your in the bag.
I
and,
do it on all my
your other
videos now. Like it's so easy just to drop it in and be like, hey, this is what I'm throwing.
Quick question: who's the voice actor you hired for your video?
Myself. For about 2 weeks.
That was not your voice.
No, for about 2 weeks, I completely lost my voice and was like, I'm going to play Idlewild, and I can't not talk during this video. So it sounds like I'm 40 years into smoking.
Yes,
but
it does. I was like,
hey,
it's not
that,
him.
Yeah,
and
so,
Christina's listening to it. She's like, that's not Jeff's voice. Whose voice is that?
Yeah, no.
I said, maybe that's quiet voice, not trying to wake the baby Jeff voice.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
it's
editor
coming back
Jeff.
a little bit now, but it was rough there for about 2 weeks.
We'll hold.
Listen,
we'll reserve our judgment until we
when-
get the next video and hear the full.
Yeah, when the Idlewild video is coming out, going to be front 9, back 9, there's some spots in there where you're like, bro, just take a rest. So I played well there, though, so you'll have to watch the video to see.
Yeah. We'll link that if it's out by then. If not,
I'll
find
probably
Jeff's
have
channel.
I'll have front 9 out by the end of this week.
Cool.
Okay.
So then we'll link that.
All right, cool. Did we have one this week?
No, I didn't get around to it.
That's fine. we have plenty of videos.
We
that
played
have.
the tournament instead. Basically, we were all gone
That's
all day
right,
yesterday
that's right.
to
Yeah,
play a
let's,
tournament, so we
let's
can get right
circle
into
back.
that.
So what we started doing, Jeff, you saw last week's. We talked about the week that was, and then we talk about the week that is. Very interesting week on the pro side of things.
Yeah.
Less interesting week on the amateur side of things.
For you,
I won, but okay. Let's just start off there. You're having a bad week, Marcus. You just are.
you won, but you were miserable the whole time. Did you
Yes,
even
we'll
have
talk
fun?
about that. We'll
Like,
talk
did you even
about that.
care that you won?
No,
Exactly.
no. But we'll talk about
Course
that.
conditions.
We'll get into that. Actually, let's just get into it
Let's
right
just get
now.
into it. So we played the an AFDO 50 fundraiser flex start at Parma, the course for AFDO.
21 holes or 20
We
holes?
played 21 holes,
Okay.
which is the course is going to be actually 18 holes for the Silver Series event. It's going to be 18 holes.
Some of the holes were in place.
Yeah,
some of them
were in
rough
place.
Layout.
The rough
I saw
layout.
trees were marked.
Yep, there's some trees that are going to come down.
T-pads, they adjusted.
The T-pads are going to have
baskets.
to dig some in.
Yeah.
Really tough conditions. It snowed like the entire drive there. The ground wasn't really frozen anywhere. It was snowing, but it wasn't cold enough to freeze the ground. So we were just walking through water and mud and snow.
A lot of false cover. You know what I mean by that is you have that puddle that's 8 inches deep. You have that really thin layer of ice that's just thick enough to hold some snow. So when you're backing up, you step right through it.
Our studio audience stepped in a massive puddle.
Yeah?
She was splish splashing around with her
The muck boots?
muck boots and rain boots. Yeah,
Up to my knees.
yeah. She went up to her
my
knee
knees.
into a puddle in that. When you
Okay.
cross the bridge the first time
Yes.
after that downhill hole, you cross the bridge. There was like a big puddle in there.
The whole one?
No, whole like
That's the first. Oh, the big bridge.
middle
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know what that is.
Yeah,
So,
I got you.
hole one, I hit something near where you went, and I hit.
The
I was in
Twizzler
that
dropped
creek.
into the creek.
So I took my relief, and you're tight against the trees here.
Yeah.
So I went to take my relief, and it's all rough, like uneven. So I'm like, I see a flat spot, so I'm backing up. Get to the flat spot, foot goes right through. Oh, you gotta be kidding me! And it's like a stumble thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're going backwards,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
you stumble in through the water a couple times, hit a high spot, and it's just like tracks
Yeah.
from like heavy equipment. So it's
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm like, I can't stand on that either. So I keep going back. Another large puddle I break through. So when I
Wow.
finally get to somewhere where I can just do a standstill, I'm 60 feet back from that creek. That's how far back I had
Oh,
to
see,
go.
I just threw from right on the river's edge.
yeah, no.
Was it better like re-teeing? Like
Almost,
better
almost.
He almost would have been better
I
ET.
should have. But let's add the conditions, especially when we teed off. The winds were 25,
It was like
30 miles
35
an
mile
hour.
an hour gusts
And
for
the
sure.
Gusts.
Yeah.
So I did have,
Sustained like 20.
I had the mutant with me to prepare for
Okay.
that wind.
Yeah.
So that helped
Yeah.
me on that hole. I knew I just needed a little bit of room to get around those trees.
Mm-hmm.
So I just needed flat, because if you're not flat footed and you try to throw the mutant, it's basically going to come right back at me. It's just going to hook.
Yeah.
I don't have the real arm speed for it. But everything worked out. I ended up getting my par and getting up there. But
Bogeyed that
that's
hole.
how my day started.
Yeah.
So,
So we didn't talk about this at all.
yeah.
Like we just kind of
We
left.
saved it for the podcast.
We saved it for the podcast because no one else wanted to go for food.
You
Me-
guys didn't play on the same card.
We didn't play on the
No,
same card.
They were just ahead
I
of
played
us.
the card ahead of him.
They were playing golds. We
Yeah.
were playing blues.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. So you
So-
really there's not been a chance to like
No, we
rehash
didn't
anything.
do-
No,
No,
we didn't
so-
talk about it all. They just wanted to get out of there and get home.
Right.
Yes.
Well,
The way-
yeah,
the way it
25 mile an hour
worked-
winds in the snow.
They were, we played a lot of similar holes, but they added a few strokes to ours. So some of their par threes were fours
Yeah, like
from
our-
the same tee,
Right.
and then we had some places that were different tees.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Which makes sense.
I don't want to knock anyone involved with this tournament when I say I wasn't happy. It was just weather, miserable, and it's all being taken care of to get ready for the Silver Series, right?
Yeah.
So it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
So nothing against them. The course, like you want to play it, I'm sure without that, 6-8 inches of snow and water and everything else you're fighting, and trees and wind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not optimal. I'm not saying it has to be summer with no breeze, but
Oh yeah.
it wasn't that fun.
Right.
So Marcus actually performed well.
I had a great time. I had so much fun playing. I threw all my new discs. I threw them all great. They all flew great. I only got one more disc I'm adding to the bag when I get them. The last thing I'm adding is a Speed Demon. It's a more overstable distance driver in between the Spirit and the new G1.
Okay.
I've got 20 of them coming for my tournament in April, for April Fools. I got 20 of those tournament stamped.
You got the Houdini already?
The Houdini I've already got two of those in the bag. Those are great. The new G1 is great. And I've got 20 of the retooled blade. So it's a more stable, it's like the Firebird
Are
slot.
those coming for the
Those
tournament?
are also in the tournament,
Okay.
yes. I've got only new discs coming for the tournament. I've got Houdini, G1, Blade V2, and
Are
Speed
you be able to
Demons.
put up little snapshots of these discs, get some numbers, or do you want to wait until the tournament?
I
Because
can
we're
pop
talking about
I
them
can
now. We
pop
want to
them up
pop
here.
some up there with some numbers.
Yeah.
Let them know.
Use my trick and just
Yeah.
like pop,
Yeah,
pop
I'll
the
cut them
picture
out.
in
And,
there.
yeah.
So
So
again,
I'm getting the discs tomorrow. They're going to be
Oh,
delivered
not- oh, I
tomorrow.
can't
We
wait to
could
see 'em.
definitely do it.
So I'm going to bring them to a round tomorrow at Como, which don't forget we're going to play with Aaron at Como.
we are
Yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah.
Okay. Moving on. I completely forgot, as I tend to do. Everyone who played in the MA3 division, I apologize. Up front, I truly do apologize. We've been talking on this podcast for so long about playing to your rating, period. And we've had talks.
Oh, yeah.
We've talked to Schmo out here. We've talked, and it's like the difference in the ratings in Western New York and where you go. So I told Marcus in the chats, I said, I have to put my money where my mouth is. I can play MA40, and I've always said, those guys have been playing 15 years. I want to play with new guys. So I said, this is unsanctioned. Not that I really care about my ratings,
Yeah.
but this is a good time to just blow up. Like Marcus said, DBW's training, blow up, start over. You're going to wreck stuff. You're going to have to learn how to rethrow.
For sure.
So I said, all right, MA3 is the perfect place to do it. I had practice around on Thursday with at Bond, just to get out and throw and
not
do some
at the
of
course
stuff.
we played.
Not the course we played. Just to practice some of the stuff that you were teaching me, and Marcus spent some time here at WNY Gaming teaching me to let the disc snap out of your hand and stop releasing.
Yeah.
Because I go here to here.
Right.
There's not much action. So get it to snap. So I go to Bond. I got Sully and I got Spencer, and for the most part, it works. There's a lot of late yanking, a lot of mess. But for the most part, it works. I shot one over, I think, at Bond in snowy conditions that were bad.
Yeah.
And I beat Sully, but Spencer got me by 2 strokes. So I'm thinking, all right, some of this might work. Enter Sunday. I don't mind snow at JD, at ECP, at Pinewoods. I don't mind trees in Charlotte in the summer. The snow and the trees had me absolutely miserable. There were some footing issues.
Yeah, some
We
of the
can agree.
tees were icy.
Yeah.
Okay?
And by icy, I mean you couldn't stand on them.
You can't. And
Yeah.
even the standstills were a hard option.
Yeah, that's something for me. Like, I don't care where it is, how good or how bad the course is. Like, unsafe conditions when you're trying to create power with your body,
really hard.
Like, that's kind of where I start to draw the line. Like, it could be the wettest course ever. As long as the tee, I'm not going to slip and die, I'm good.
Right.
You know
But
what I mean?
see-
I'll drench myself walking through the fairway.
Right.
Yeah.
But I need the tee to be a decent
Yeah.
spot.
I'm not. We all played in the same conditions, right? So I'm not saying
Yeah.
it was a reason for my personal game.
Yeah.
Not being able to run up to throw, having to do some standstills.
Right.
It just bothered me. So hitting the trees, having them come back, and hitting more because I can't feel comfortable
Right,
in my
yeah,
throw.
yeah.
It bothered me. It
Especially
didn't
with the
bother
new form, yeah.
Sully. It didn't bother. Yeah. So I'm trying this new form,
Right.
and I'm trying to do a run up, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to work. You're not doing that if you're sliding, and no one ever does
Yep.
well when you're focused on your feet instead of your throw.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I
we
agree.
get through. Sully's like on a really nice run, and he's making it known.
He was giving it to you guys.
No. He was just like, I really wish I could see the score. He wasn't doing that part. He was just like, he shared a short on the
Yeah,
shorter
he
hole.
pimped that
Yeah.
hole.
Yeah.
Luke actually cut like a millisecond before he finished speaking. Like he gave the shout, and he turns around and he screams sexual. And I wish he would have kept the recording because it would have made it even better.
Yeah.
But that's how he was feeling on some
Yeah.
of them. On the other ones, he wasn't doing so hot, but he was saving his par.
Right,
So he
which
was
is important
doing
out
good.
there.
It was important there.
Right.
Luke struggled putting, but he was still beating me. And about 14 holes in is when I finally I started to feel my feet were getting wet. I had waterproof socks that may or may not have been 100% waterproof because I was having a problem with them. Waterproof, expensive boots.
Yes.
It just got through, right? So now I'm
It just does eventually. It doesn't
it
matter.
does, right? So
I
now
have the
I'm
same
just
thing. Like, I have
miserable.
waterproof boots that are like, they're good for about 12 holes, but if
Yeah.
it's 12 holes of water, it's
Yeah.
Right.
Now,
It's
now
gonna
I'm
get
just
I will say, Idio Sports. I wore those. My feet were dry.
how the snow is deeper than
I know.
that.
My feet were dry in the Idio Sports. They were cold.
Oh, I'm heavier. I push the snow down
Yeah.
deeper than he does.
He floats on
The
top.
Idio,
he just
I was
coasts.
cold. They're not insulated by any means.
I got you.
My toes were cold.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
they were
But-
not
but they
like.
weren't
So if you get a
weren't
size
wet.
up or
Yeah.
something for the winter, and
Right,
maybe
and
an
then
extra sock,
stuff a pair of
yeah.
socks, or
Yeah.
get a foot warmer or
Interesting.
toe
Yeah.
warmers in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that a lot with Brad. Was the toe warmers a little?
Yeah,
you
I
shave
have
them
some.
and-
I told you guys I carry. So
I don't
every-
have toe warmers. I carry hand warmers.
Here's a hot tip for all you guys that play up in the cold weather. Go to your stores right now. Go to your
Yeah.
grocery stores. Go to your Walmarts. I picked up 2 entire boxes of warmers from Wegmans for I think it was $8 for the entire box.
Yeah,
each.
'cause they're getting rid of
They're
them,
getting
'cause
rid
it-
of them. They're
yeah.
clearance, and they last years. They last 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
So I went from having a couple of boxes and packages. I had a full-sized box full of hand, toe, large hand because I have bigger hands,
Right.
and the body ones. I go out and get them now. Start searching. You're gonna love having them on backup.
I will say, my key that I learned, my tip, is you get the big ones, the large ones that are like a square like this, and you get
Or what I call hand size.
or hand size for some of us, and you get mittens,
Okay.
not gloves,
They just stay in
mittens,
there. And they just stay in
and
there.
then you just jam it in the mitten, take the mitten off, throw, put the mitten back on.
Yeah.
I don't put my thumb into the thumb slot, put my thumb into the mitten,
Yeah.
So it's all nice and warm in there. Oh, that was
what
a
I found,
game changer.
Like gloves are better for like grabbing things or whatever,
Yeah.
but like for your putting hand, like your
Yeah,
fingertips,
you want a mitten.
like especially if like you have more of a spin or whatever, you have to have a mitten.
Yeah.
I don't. I have one glove, so I can
Yeah.
pull my bag, my cart, whatever,
Right.
in here, and I keep 2 of the big hand warmers in this
Yeah, I
side.
mean, yeah,
and
That's
I
the
just
same
hold them
difference.
in my
Yeah,
hand.
that's the same
thing.
difference.
It's just, but you got to keep those tips.
I just hold them in my hand while I'm
Warm.
walking and
Yeah,
talking.
for sure.
And then
Yeah,
they
for
usually
sure.
last the entire round.
And
Right.
vests. Buy yourself a vest.
That's what I have to
You'd be
do.
like Katrina
I did
Allen
get
with the heated jacket.
Yeah.
She was taking the thing on and off at Austin.
I would just
Vest,
wear.
I think,
Just
is
get a
key.
heated vest. Mike Cole has a heated vest.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a good.
I had so many layers.
Yeah.
Like, get the vest.
And, like,
it is
you'd
key.
like
no,
your
'cause I,
tight-
all I wore was an Under Armour, a hoodie, and the vest, and I
Yeah.
felt perfect. I was
Yeah.
not restricted.
You'd like to tell yourself that you're only going to use it like a couple times because like you're not going to have that many cold rounds, and then here we are playing unsanctioned rounds or
Yeah.
whatever.
So
Yeah.
again, I go back to it because I'm trying to work on some of the things you guys are telling me. So I want to do it outdoors, and I'm not. I mean, if there's that much snow, are you doing that much field work? Not really.
no, I
We're
had.
throwing in
It's
a
been
net
killing me.
here.
It's been killing me. It's not being
Yeah.
able to do field work.
We're
Like,
throwing
it's-
in a net here. I can't see the results of that. I can hear you guys saying,
Yeah.
"Good job! I saw the form. I heard the snap. I
Yeah.
saw something happening."
Yeah.
But if I don't visually see what that disc is doing, it's not helping me with my
Right.
disc selection. Right?
Yep.
I'll say
I
something
agree.
that you mentioned about your form is like you're having like right-handed yanks every once in a while, and something
Trying to wait for it to snap out.
yeah.
Yes.
So like
absolutely
part
grip
of what
lock
I'll
that way.
say is like what something that Marcus does really well is the way you say it is a little different than I would. But like you have it come all the way out here and you wait for it
Yeah.
to snap. What that's doing really like biomechanically wise is keeping this shoulder like in the line of the shot
Yeah.
longer. Okay, so typically the yanks, and I find myself doing this too, is I'll get like really excited to snap it. Like I'll know I want to get the power behind it. And I'll literally feel this shoulder open up, and now all of a sudden your line is not at the basket anymore. It's here.
To the side.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's over however many degrees.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like him saying I'm reaching that elbow all the way through until it can't anymore and then going
Yeah.
is another like he's keeping that shoulder closed long enough where it can't go anywhere else
Yeah.
other than straight.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No,
So it's like it's almost
absolutely.
like you're getting excited for that. You're almost anticipating that snap,
Yeah.
and you're opening early.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So that's just
I never thought about it that way.
biomechanically wise.
That makes sense.
But again, that's
It's
what I do.
easy to
That's-
say,
That's
it's
my
harder to
9
put
to
into
5.
practice.
That's what I do.
It's even harder to repeat.
Right.
Keep doing it.
Right,
So
for sure.
What I was repeating was tree, and when I had a good drive, it was just another tree. The only thing that worked was the berg. Sully found a K3 berg. He was actually putting with the berg, which really made sense in that wind. And I started using it a couple times for my jumps.
Yeah.
But
Again,
So-
a snowy 30-mile-an-hour wind, 30
Yeah.
degrees is not the day to go and try and change
20,
things.
20, it wasn't 30 degrees.
Okay,
It
maybe
was,
I
it
was
cold.
being a little.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're getting through. We're at hole 14, 15 out of 21. And I look at Luke, who, by the way, shout out to Luke. Amazing job. But if you ever want a scorekeeper, Luke is your guy. If you're on his card, he doesn't really volunteer. He's the best scorekeeper that I've ever played with.
Really?
Because he literally does everything by the book. He'll show up to the hole. He'll say, okay, what'd you get? You say it. You say it. You say it. He'll confirm it while he's writing it.
Yeah.
And then he'll say his score while he's writing it.
Yep.
Then at the hole, he'll tell you, okay, now we're on hole 10, par 3, 254 feet. To the full breakdown. Like, that's what you want. And he
Yeah.
does everything. So obviously we're looking for them because we played it blind.
Yeah, right. I played it blind
Oh, yeah, by the
too.
way, we played it blind. So
Yeah. Never played it before.
add all that together with blind.
Yeah.
So
Santos won. I came in third.
that's what I was getting to.
Sully won.
This is why I wanted to apologize
Yeah.
to MA3. I complained about it. I played my rating. I played my division.
Yep.
I complained. I was miserable. I was full Marcus mode after hole 15, and I just didn't care. I just walked up to the tee pad. Sometimes I didn't even pick like the right disc, the right driver. There were
Yeah.
similar colors. I didn't even care. I just walked up. I just wanted to throw, and I just wanted to be done. When we're done, they're counting their scores. I'm like, good job, Luke. You got the win. Personal competition between us. We knew that Sully was doing good. He had us blown out by like 10, 15 strokes.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to look at my card at all. I said, just go turn it in. Like, I don't even want to see it. I just want to forget about today. I want to go home. We were going to go get garbage plates
Yep.
and the coverage. Like, it was a 4-hour easy round, 4.5.
It was long. It was longer than I expected.
Much longer.
I didn't
Yeah.
anticipate
So
that.
the coverage for NPO was on. So I literally was in like, go hand that in. Sorry, Marcus, I'm not going out to eat. I'm going home just to be miserable and to thaw out. And then these guys come back from the scoring table and they're like, you're in first place. And I thought it was a joke.
Yikes.
I really did. And then he says it again after Sully says it. I was like, "This, you guys aren't kidding." They're like, "No, we're not. You're actually in first place." And I ended up winning. And I was miserable, and I hated it, and I did everything
Yeah.
possible to give it away in the second half,
yeah.
like not to
Everything
do.
you shouldn't do in a
Yeah.
tournament.
And we had
Yep.
Josh with us, who's
Yeah.
a new player, and Sully's taking his time teaching.
Josh
I want to get a last name because
Stroh.
Okay. So we're trying to teach Josh, take your time.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
On your approach, if there's a touch, don't go full, right? He's literally telling him these things to do, and then he just basically was like, don't do what he's doing. Because I'm literally just walking up faster than Nate.
The
Yeah.
worst example.
I'm walking up, and I'm like, it's over there, let it fly.
Yeah.
And then approach, like my foot is barely set. There's my
Yeah,
approach.
do you want to know how bad the footing and stuff was? There was like 5 or 6 times where Nate would like start his run up and then stop
That's
completely,
bad.
and then like have to
Nate,
readjust, like actually stop, think about his run up,
Yeah.
test the footing, and then throw.
Yeah, he's one of the quickest players I've played. So if he's
Yeah.
stopping, you know it's bad. So that's how my day went.
Yikes.
And I apologize because I ended up winning, and that'll start another conversation for us to talk about playing to your rating. Because I technically played to my rating, but I threw off so bad in the second half. I feel bad for the people who were there trying to compete and wanting to be a part of like.
Yeah, I mean you're just better than you think you are.
I guess that's the way of putting it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm in a similar spot. Like I'm rated 931, so I can still play MA2. But
I thought 930 was the cutoff. What's the cutoff?
935.
Not-
I'm literally 4 points underneath.
yeah.
So it's like first tournament of the year. I'm gonna play MA2 because it's courses that I've never played before.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I couldn't tell you the last time I've shot a round, like scoring round for myself that would have been worse than 940, 950.
Okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I shot well at Idlewild, spoilers, but like it was a very good round.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, I took all my first shots because like, I mean, I'm an
Yeah,
amateur. I'm
you
not
have to,
expecting to
yeah.
shoot well.
Right.
You know, and I'm videoing and things like that, and it's just like, oh, like I didn't realize that it was possible that I could shoot that well, and now I'm like, I might feel bad. Like, I'm probably gonna eat my words now if I don't win, but like,
Right.
Yeah,
you know what I
well,
mean? Like,
It's a
I mean,
real
it's
thing that
possible.
we talk about.
If you listen to last week, I claimed. So here's the update.
Oh,
is that the
yeah.
field has changed dramatically
Okay.
for my next tournament.
I forgot we were gonna have a wager on this. We were trying to figure out
Yeah.
how to wager.
I
Because
said-
we saw some names. You
Yeah.
probably saw it, but
Yeah.
According to the Western New York Point Series event 1, at the time we talked about it, there were 9 players in MPO. I said I would podium.
right,
Now there are 16. I should not podium.
right.
Some more real MPO players signed up,
I gotcha.
not MA1 guys playing MPO.
Right, playing up. Yeah, I gotcha.
Now I should not win. I should not podium or win.
Right.
So
I don't
It's a
know if I'm
retraction.
gonna let him off because there was room for people to sign up,
Right.
and he
there
was
were.
still
I just
overly
expected.
confident.
I just expected
in
everyone
what
to
he
have
could
signed
do.
up right away because it did feel quick. There weren't a lot of spots.
Where is it at?
Outwater. Just kind of, it's a balanced course,
I was gonna
slightly
say it
lefty
is.
friendly.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're not getting shafted there by the righty
No.
lefty.
I get there's a good amount of
It's not
favorable
bond whites.
lefty holes. My forehand feels better than my backhand anyway right now. So that's the other thing is like I was just trusting my discs out there, and it was so nice to be able to just trust brand new discs and know exactly what they were gonna do.
I think that's interesting too. Like
Makes a
you didn't really
difference.
have a lot of expectations because, like, yes, you know how you play and you've been practicing
Yeah.
your putting, but like you've not played a tournament round or a tournament style
Right.
round with that bag. Yet.
Right.
Like so the expectation is
Yeah.
low to none because you're just like, let's see what happens.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think going into like point series and beyond, like now you're like, oh, well, I shot this here and this,
Right. Now
you
now
know,
I have expectations
I
of
think that'll be
myself.
interesting
Like,
to see how that goes with you with the
Yeah.
new bag.
but yeah, I was absolutely like I was matching Nate's backhand with my forehand, like distance, shot for shot every time.
Great.
I was pumping forehands out
Right,
there.
I
It's
mean,
really good to
and
match
like
Nate.
yeah,
with
I mean-
forehand.
Yeah, Nate knows what he's doing.
Yeah. I mean, it was like only like 350, which I know we say I say only like 350, but like for a lot of people that's a great shot.
My forehand doesn't go 350.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm
it's
throwing
good.
hyzer flip forehands, so
Yeah.
I'm throwing like max distance line.
But these were in the woods too.
Yeah, I mean,
So
my
what?
max
I mean, it
distance
wasn't
ones,
wide
I was
open.
throwing like there were some open holes. I was throwing max distance shots,
Yeah.
but I was also throwing some good forehands in the woods. I was hitting my lines. I was really happy. Like
Yeah.
the discs that I have are so reliable Like, I think Gateway did such a good job. Gateway asked their team this year, what do you need? What disc do you need us to make a full Gateway bag so you're not bagging anything else? We told them we need an overstable 12-speed, an overstable 9-speed, an overstable putt and approach. They made all of them within a month.
That's pretty
Which
good.
I
Two
would
of them,
say
two
this,
overstable distance drivers within a month.
Like I've only been in the disc golf community for 4 years, but like I know that like Gateway not necessarily known for like consistency, really.
They're not known for their drivers.
Right. I'll say that with like putters.
Their
that's
putter
pretty much the only
plastics
thing
are
that-
really consistent.
Yeah.
They've had many different plastic iterations of their premium plastic. Now I think, have settled on one, and they're coming out with the second one,
Right.
a good new one as well.
Right.
So
And then like the other was like Innova is so inconsistent because of the amount
The
that
amount,
they put.
yes.
Not that in the individual runs, I'm sure they're great, but like one destroyer and the other destroyer could be 3 years apart from each other,
Yep.
and you're getting a completely different disc.
well, and that's also part of there was the AJ destroyer mold,
Right.
which is now the Scorpius. The Millennium Scorpius uses the AJ mold.
Oh, really?
Paul Macbeth asked
Yeah.
them to make a more stable destroyer. They retooled it. All the Paul Macbeth 4-time destroyers are more overstable. They then, in my opinion, retooled the mold again when Ricky got his name on it.
Yep.
The Ricky destroyers are a different mold. I don't know what the Macbeth destroyer mold. The Macbeth destroyer mold could very well be the Halo destroyer mold they're using. And you can tell there's different grind marks where they ground off that they took an angle grinder
Yes.
and ground off the patent numbers from the destroyer mold. There's one that has 3 different grind marks, like 3 distinct lines, and one that has 2 distinct lines.
Okay, wow.
And I don't know. And then the Scorpius has its own set, and
Yeah.
then they might have retooled Scorpius now too.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this: like, I used to throw T-birds, and I had a star T-bird that was just a normal star T-bird,
Yeah.
and I had one that was an AJ star T-bird.
Yes.
And no, they are not the same disc.
No, they're very much not. The AJs are like way more
almost,
stable,
like,
right?
One basically flew like a 7-speed Firebird.
Yeah.
And the other one was a neutral 7-speed.
Yeah, and I had when I got into, really into disc golf, I was like, oh, Paul throws a T-bird. Let me grab T-birds. They were Jolly Launcher plastic, which is the clear. They look like Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah.
They're clear, stiff, Innova Champion plastic.
Yeah.
The most overstable disc you'll find.
Really?
Because Avery Jenkins asked them to make, I need more stable T-birds. So they made Jolly Launcher for him.
Okay, he couldn't just disc up?
No, because you want that T-bird slot. You
Yeah.
want that.
So a lot of guys that I've found, especially when you get into like the pro guys,
Yeah.
the feel wise, they like what they like.
Yeah.
Making it more stable makes it flatter, there's a change to it, so it still feels
No.
the same.
So
No,
what
they're
they're
the
looking-
same mold. Just
What they're looking for is the underneath like plate feel, because like for me, like I know that a zone, a tactic, an entropy, a devil hawk,
The
all
Houdini,
fly,
they all fly the
basically
same.
the same. Nothing fits in my hand like a zone. Period. I've tried them all. They don't. The other ones legitimately don't feel good. A harp doesn't feel good to me.
Right.
I know it has the bead, but like you know what I mean. They all fly the same. Similar thing like T-bird. I throw a crave now. The crave feels so much better to me in the hand.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's like it's that neutral 7-speed or that overstable, putt and approach slot. Like,
Right.
They're the same.
Yeah, and
idea.
this is why I preach. But until you get sponsored, you should not throw one manufacturer.
Yeah, makes sense.
You should find like you said, the zone, great, but you're not throwing.
I'll never give up the zone. I can't.
I don't even know what
Series.
the overstable. I don't even know what Discraft's 7-speed is.
They got the.
They have the new
It's
Athena.
Yes, the new Athena. Okay,
Athena.
before that, what was their 7-speed?
They didn't have one. That's why you had
Exactly.
It
Yes, it's,
they had an
um,
8-speed.
Oh, why am I?
Like the
Blanking on
the
this.
Punisher, the
Yeah, they had.
No,
one.
it's what's Paige Pierce's the Passion.
Passion,
That's
but
an
that's
also
new.
Had
I think that's an 8-speed. The Passion.
The Vulture's an 8-speed.
Vulture's at 10-speed.
Oh, I have no idea about Discraft.
Why am I blanking on this? It starts with an
I'm
S.
linking too.
Starts
No.
with an S.
An S?
Surge?
I have no clue.
So that's
Nope.
much faster.
Surge is a 10 or
Surge is
11
like a 10
speed.
speed.
It'll come to me.
Okay, we can look it up. We have
Stalker?
different ways.
Yes, the Stalker.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. The
That's
Stalker.
an 8-speed. Or is that a 7?
So that's
The
their
7 speeds. Their 7 speed is the
their
Stalker.
only 7-speed until the
Okay.
Passion and the Athena came out.
Yeah.
That was like the
The
slot
Sting
that
is a
was
7
missing.
speed, but it's flippy.
Right. That's
Huh.
why Ulibarri throws the Mantis.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time, it was the only thing you could get between the Buzz and
Yeah.
an Undertaker.
Absolutely, you're
was
right.
the Mantis.
I had a Mantis from the Ace.
The Ace Race Mantis.
The Ace Race Mantis, and it was a really, really nice Mantis.
yeah.
Somebody else had it. They gave it to my son Christian, and he said it wasn't comfortable. Forehand dominant.
Right, yeah.
He said it wasn't comfortable. I
They
grabbed
can be
it.
flippy.
I really loved it. I lost it. Can't remember where.
It's slightly
And
slower.
I tried
and
another one,
slightly
but it didn't
flippier
feel the
than
same as the Ace
Undertaker.
Race one, so I didn't.
Yeah, it's slightly
I
slower,
died.
slightly flippier than an Undertaker, for instance. Just people know what those are.
Yeah.
So
But-
okay, let's bring it back to
Oh,
your
Undertakers, man. Those discs were always too stable for me. They were always way more stable than I wanted them to be, based
See,
on the numbers.
But again,
based
I
on
have
numbers.
ESP, but again, because Discraft has ESP and an ESP swirl.
Yeah.
I had one that was normal ESP that was very stable, and then
Yeah.
I had one that was swirl that I could flip up and ride all day long.
Yeah, I had the Missy Gannon Undertakers from the 2020 Tour Series run. Those were wicked stable.
I've come to the
Sure, it wasn't you.
Could have been me back then. I throw on a lot of hyzers, so
I've come to the decision that if it has a player's name on it, it's a different mold.
It's gonna be-
you
it's a different
cannot
mold,
treat
yeah.
it as the stock run,
that's a good point.
which is now why you see Discraft and everybody else is promoting their stock run discs and
Yeah.
not just the Tour Series stuff because they're different molds.
Yeah,
Could be.
Between specialty plastics and everything else, it will fly
completely different. You're right.
Yeah.
A couple of notes from that one. Number one, Nate, New York State champion Nate Marizio, does not put any truth to any number. Since there is no standardization of numbers, why put face in numbers?
Right.
He takes a feel, throws a disc,
Yep.
Yeah.
and he knows what it is. It's flippy, it's not, it's stable, it's not, and
Right.
that's it. So
Yeah, I mean, I'll
we
use
try
them
not
as
to
a
put too
general
much-
guideline.
Yeah.
So, especially because, if you're within one manufacturer, you're okay, this compared to whatever,
Which is what he
should
is.
be. Right.
Nate is not technically, he's not sponsored by the trilogy, but that's what he throws.
I mean, I'll say I'm mostly MVP Axiom aside from the Zone and the Zeus,
Yeah.
and a couple other knickknacks here and there kind of thing. But other than that, I really enjoy Overmold. They're a little skinnier.
Skinnier,
to me,
yeah.
and I don't have large hands, so they just fit nicer. I can get an 11 speed or a 12 speed to fit nicer in my hand.
Yep.
Than
I understand that.
than other manufacturers, but that's it's a preference thing.
Yeah.
Not I just found that they're more comfortable to me.
So, did you play 100% with Gateway discs? Did you throw any non?
No non-gateway discs.
Okay.
I threw AGL, but
Okay.
they're gateway
But they're-
produced, so they
okay.
count.
Okay.
So, he had a great time.
Yeah.
Tied for third.
Third.
I don't see. They moved one around. Yeah, you're tied for third.
Yeah.
So that was a very good showing. Nate tied for third also.
And I was only
Really
4
cool.
strokes back of Nate. Oh, consistent
Marcus 76, Nate 72.
72. I was 4 strokes back of Nate.
Yeah.
I took a 7 on a hole. My
Yeah.
first shot I threw went OB.
Yep.
There's 4 strokes.
Yeah.
Nate 2'd, I forward the first hole. I 7, Nate 5 the second last hole.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's your 4 strokes.
That's tough. That's a tough hole. That
hole
second
was
last
hard.
one.
I did not get off the tee well. I had to throw a
Yeah.
thumber.
That's not good for a lefty.
Is that
That's
what
not
used to
lefty
be
hole.
11?
hard.
The long par 5.
No.
Okay. I'll have to see.
I don't know
I was
what
out
hole
there.
it was.
I was out there last summer.
It used to
when
be a
things
par
still had the
3
old
and it was
numbers on.
impossible, Nate said. It averaged a 4 or more, and then they made it a par 5 instead of a par 3. So you start down, you go up a hill,
Yeah.
you go
okay,
flat
so
and turn.
I played it last year, in the summer when
Yeah.
they were just starting. They had just found out that they were getting a Silver
Yeah.
Series. They were starting to work on it, but everything still had the old number. So it's old hole 11.
Okay.
But yeah, again, par 5. You get up and then it starts into the woods kind
Yep.
of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
I
no
know what
gap,
you
there's
mean.
no
Yeah.
line.
No, that's a par 5.
It's a real
For
par
the
5.
pros, it's par 4. Just because they should be better.
Yeah, they should get
But,
through to the landing zone and then get down to the basket
I
in
would
2.
say if you're
It's
not above,
hard.
if you're not 970 rated or higher, it's a par 5.
It's a hard hole, yeah. You're not
Luke?
getting there in 3.
Cured the drive on that, and he was perfectly set up for the
Just
approach.
centered.
He was.
But then
he
your
was the only
approach
one
is
that
like
got there.
300 feet.
He was perfectly set up for it, and did not.
No, it's a hard
Execute the
shot.
shot.
So that's what I'm saying.
He came up.
Yeah.
It was just a bad shot. One of those where he just flipped it pretty early, so he kicked it, went to the right. But
Ooh.
if he was he had a very you couldn't place it. You couldn't walk up and put the disc in any better location.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
so.
I mean, I will say
he recovered for a good score, but I was just military in
Yeah,
that
that's what I
last
did.
hole.
when I played it, I threw an okay drive. I ended up 4 in it, but I threw an okay drive and saw the approach and said, no thank you.
Yeah.
I threw 2 backhand putters
Yeah.
to like obvious landing zones and then I ended up making a circle 2 to get the 4, but like it's a par 5.
That's
like,
the one. That's the one where I three putted. I think I 7. It was either 7 or an 8.
I 7'd it.
I want to say 7 because I don't remember any snowmans in the snow. I would
I
remember
didn't
that.
take a snowman in the snow.
But-
I'm very happy.
I 3 putted. I putted from maybe 20 feet, and it was one of those where you just lock it, you go flying by. And I went flying by. So I look at that putt and I'm just like, no fucking way. I'm
You get
just
the same
not.
thing come back.
So I'm
or
getting
coming
ready
back.
to do another putt, and I'd rather take that stroke because I'm just gonna miss this.
Right.
All kinds of things can happen. I'm here. Let me just go ahead and putt it. And Sully stops me. He's like, no. Think about what you're doing. You're gonna take a stroke. I'm like, Sully, I'll miss it. He's like, don't. He just wouldn't let me.
Yeah.
I said, all right. So I walk down. I line that putt up. Luke didn't realize what was happening. He's just grabbing his disc to put him away or whatever. And out the corner of my eye, or his eye, he sees me. And he's bent over doing his whatever, and he sees me like that, and he just stiffens up and does this and turns his head to look away.
And that made it
I
worse.
start laughing so hard. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know what to do. He's like, I was here. I was like, he goes to hide behind a chair. I'm like, Luke, you don't have to do any of that, man.
Yeah.
I'm just putting. Like, this doesn't matter. I throw it up, and I hit the cage and miss whatever, and I'm just dying laughing. And he's like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Sully's making excuses. He's like, he's doing what he's supposed to do. Like, he's showing you, like, etiquette.
Yeah,
and he's
he's-
being nice. And I'm
Right.
like, but this is us. Like, you don't need to
Yeah,
do
you
that
don't need to do
around
that
me
for
when
a
I'm getting
casual
ready to
round.
putt. So I get ready to putt again, and Luke's like, well, what am I supposed to do? And I look at him again. I'm just laughing. Sully's like, why are you worried about what Luke's doing when you're supposed to make a putt? I'm like, I don't care about the putt.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just don't at this point. I'm having fun. This was hilarious. So I just, banged that one, and I'm like, there you go. There's my 3 putt. I could have just made it from there, but
Yeah.
it was annoying. That's all.
That's something like when I first started, always like only playing by myself. Got to the first tournament and I was like, oh, I don't know how to do any of this.
Yeah.
So like I watched like Jomez
Yeah.
and didn't watch like the shots. I watched what everybody else was doing. Like while other people, I was like, okay, don't walk when other people are walking. Like if you just tap yours in and you're walking away, like stop for a second and wait to hear the chains of like the next person's putt. Like all those little things. Like
Yeah.
I watched Jomez.
Nice.
And just like
Picked it up.
and watch like the players behind the
Yeah.
scenes, like
Yeah,
what
that's-
the crowd was doing.
That's how I picked it up, I think.
Smart.
Just
I
like-
picked it up from Bob and the kid right away. They were just
Yeah.
teaching me what to do.
Like I said
so-
though, like I didn't have anybody really to like just sit there and pick their brain, like the millions of questions. So I watched a lot of video.
Yeah.
Like I've watched so many Jomez
Yep.
and Gatekeeper and everybody rounds, like,
Yeah.
to go to Idlewild, like I know I'm playing this course. The 2 weeks beforehand, I went and rewatched Idlewild coverage of Jomez, all the different cards that they did, because I wanted to see every way that different people played different holes.
Yeah.
So I was like, here's all my X, Y, and Z options. Obviously, I don't throw that far.
Right.
But like, and I just like, and I walked up like in real life and like the only variables now are how this hole actually looks in real
Yep.
life compared to on the camera. And like, there were some big differences, but I also felt really prepared.
Nice.
Like,
Yeah,
I
that's a fun way
definitely
to
do
do
my
it.
homework.
Yeah.
As far as like
You
tournament
have to
stuff
when
or-
you're doing
But
that.
that was
concerned.
for a casual round, right? You weren't
Right.
playing a tournament.
Well,
so you
but,
put
like, I
in
was
that
filming.
work for casual.
Like
But
I
yeah,
was
but yeah.
filming, like I
Right,
wanted to
so
play
you
well.
I'm just letting the people know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you didn't
No,
put
I
on this big thing just to go.
Yeah.
No,
like
a tournament.
first
You were
tournament-
doing your
yeah.
work.
Like
so-
my first tournament this year is at 2 courses that I've never played. There's no filmed coverage of them anywhere. Like
What is it?
We're going to Houghton.
we're going to
Oh,
the
yeah,
Houghton
that's
tournament,
right,
so it's
that's
Field
right,
of Dreams,
that's right,
and then
yeah.
they have a woods course. So like all I have to go off of is the UDisc numbers, which I know shows you absolutely nothing. So I'm like kind of stressed. I'm like, okay, I'm going next week to play with
Yeah,
Marcus.
we're going down to
We're
play.
going Saturday, hopefully.
For
Oh,
To practice.
to
practice,
practice,
yeah.
to practice. I
Yes,
mean,
Not for the tournament. Oh my God.
I'm a
I'm not
month
doing
early.
blind 2 in
Right.
a row.
yeah, I'm a month early practicing. But
And this
like,
one's sanctioned.
This one is saying.
Yeah,
So this one really matters.
This
to
one
you.
will
matters
matter
to me, yeah.
But again, like I can't do my homework, so I'm like, I'm gonna film this, and I'm gonna film it from the blues, I think, and then practice for myself from the whites, so I can watch everything back
Yeah.
a bunch of
sense.
times. Because
And
like,
you throw a bunch of shots. You do it like a real practice round
Right.
where you.
Right,
I'm
right.
definitely going to.
Right. You're not going to just score it, take one, and then
Right.
be like, all right, it
You-
worked.
yeah,
Like, no.
you don't
Throw
score
a
it.
couple and take the bad shot because you want to know what
Right.
happens
Play
if
from your
you're in
bad
there.
shot. Play
Yeah.
from your
I
good
think
shot.
that's too, like, I mean, you said we were talking about the pro tournament a little bit, like this weekend at Austin. Like, it was a brand new course, so I feel like you have to do your homework on it. And I feel like maybe not enough days, but at the same time, like, everybody's putting out practice rounds now. Like, I go back and watch practice rounds, watch how other people play it. And You don't have to like the person. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I mute it if you need to. But, like, when you only get, the way the Pro Tour is set up, when you only get 2, maybe 3 times around the course, like, you have to do your homework.
Yeah.
There's no other way you're going to feel good.
I don't know how big Texas is. Waco to Austin's only an hour and a half.
What do you mean
Yeah.
you don't know how big Texas?
I don't know where Austin
It's
and
very
Waco
big.
are.
Texas is huge.
Austin and Waco are very close to each other, though.
You could leave Texas on Monday and
Relatively.
still be there Wednesday.
I know.
It's Texas.
But Waco to Austin's only an hour and a half. So it's not like they had to drive 10 hours across the state
Oh, I get what
Sunday.
you're saying. Yeah, to prepare.
They had 3
Yeah.
days to practice.
All right.
For instance, like,
Well, hold on.
Brody
Hold on.
Mezer's around.
Let's
Go ahead.
let me rewind. Before we move on to the pro thing, I just want to tie up the amateur thing. I just
Yeah.
want to let the people
Sorry.
know.
My bad.
It's a humble brag, but it's going to happen. Nate tied for third. Marcus, ME1 tied for third. Throwing all of your
All
discs,
gateway, brand
all
new
gateway,
discs.
which is a really good start to the season. I don't want to underscore that.
Yeah.
It's a really good start to the season. So I hope you're able to keep that up. And then Brad Lash. Shout out to Lash. He came in 1 stroke behind you.
Well,
He was in our group.
it was a
but-
clerical error.
Are we gonna do it? Are we gonna do this? Are we gonna do this? We're gonna call him out. Do
We
it.
call it Schmo
Schmo.
or Spencer Glinsky.
Oh,
He,
no, Schmo.
So we had Brad beating me by 3. We had Brad shooting a 73.
What?
I checked my score. Schmo added the scores up. I asked Brad and Nate, "Do you want to check your scores?"
Schmo wasn't playing.
Schmo wasn't playing. He was caddying for me. I asked Brad and Nate, "Do you want to see your scores?" They both said no. I didn't double check their scores. I just checked mine.
Discussion time. It's unsanctioned, but
I probably
is
should have
there
checked everyone's.
something- No. Because if it was sanctioned, right, everyone has to check their score.
You have to.
Because
You have to
if an
verify.
error is reported, that person who had the error on the report
Yes. If
is
you-
the one
if
that's
you-
penalized.
The
2
player
strokes.
that has the wrong score is the
Correct.
one that's penalized. You're
Right.
responsible for your own score.
Yes.
Right. So ultimately,
Yeah, it's submitting.
it's not that
it-
you
yeah.
should have checked theirs and did him a solid. Ultimately,
Right.
it's he
should
should
have
have
checked their own.
checked.
Right.
So based
Okay.
on where the scores are, I think Brad was we were 2 strokes off on Brad's score, and then he got stroked 2 strokes. I think the TD stroked him 2
2
for having a
strokes
wrong
for
score.
having
So,
a wrong
so put
score.
him at a 75 with the real score.
Makes
2
sense.
strokes, 77.
Makes
One
sense.
stroke worse.
Like we say, Schmo. Oh no, Schmo was helping.
Schmo was
No,
helping
yeah,
out.
something-
He was
it's not-
carrying my bag.
Someone should have double checked.
Right.
Their
At the end
score.
of the day, it's the player's responsibility. It's the same way
Sucks.
in
It is what
It
it is.
sucks.
same way
yeah.
in regular golf.
It
If you
happened.
submit
We
an
saw it.
illegal
We saw it
scorecard,
on
yeah.
DGPT coverage. Somebody did
Happens
the wrong
all the
score,
time.
and they
It's
adjusted
happened
it
to Ricky.
overnight.
It's happened to Paul.
Oh yeah. So
Yep.
yeah. So
It's
then.
happened to Girthy. It happened to
Sorry,
everybody.
but Lash. I mean, if he
He
doesn't,
played great.
if he keeps his score, which was probably
We think a
second
75.
place, yeah, would have
He
been
ties
second
for
place.
second. Yeah.
Mhm.
He
And
played
then
great.
Marcus would have been fourth, but
Tied
yeah.
for 4th, which yeah.
And then we gave Sully how great he played. We're going to give him a shout out because he took first place by 4 strokes. Really solid in the woods. Any mistakes were covered up with approach shots where he just took his time, did his thing.
Yeah.
Luke shot really well. He was frustrated with his putts early on. Walked up with a negative mindset of I only got within 25 feet and I'm going to miss this putt.
Yeah.
We changed that as we were walking. I kept telling him, "You're going to make this. Count it already because you've already made it, and just put that as your score. You're good."
Yeah.
And then he started making a couple.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, he's not even taking that much time, and he starts to bang a couple putts. Luke, with a putt, is dangerous because the man can throw far.
Yeah.
Give him a little control and give him a putt. He's dangerous. So he got a tie for 4th. 1, 2, 3. There was a 4-way tie for 4th.
Nice.
And then I won Tim Cooper. I didn't realize.
I didn't see
saw
Tim
them.
Cooper.
I saw the crew out there, but
I didn't see him.
Tim Cooper came in second. Shout out to Tim.
Nice.
You know, I'm going to go back and look at MA40 now because I saw Hopkins' truck now that I think about it. Steve Hopkins, 1, 2, 3 for 5th place. Yeah, just missed cash. But I love another lefty cheater, Steve. So that's how it went for the AFDO fundraiser. It was the first of many to come.
Yep.
So locals, even if you're not local, if you're going to be in the area, if you see the fundraiser, let's help out. Let's try to get these
It's gonna be a
guys.
great event.
It's going to be a huge event for Rochester.
gonna be awesome.
50th. The first one they gave away that Datsun.
DJ KJ is gonna be playing.
DJ KJ, yeah, that's right. They had fundraiser.
They had
for
fundraiser DJ. Just pay him a little extra money.
They're gonna have him playing. So like,
That's cool.
Let's just help support them. All the pros are coming. Doesn't matter if your favorite pro makes it or not. The pros are coming. They will
Yeah,
be to
it's
Rochester.
fun. And then you can, if you're from the Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse area, you can then go back and play the same course even after if you don't get to it beforehand.
Yeah.
Like, I went to Maple Hill the day after MVP Open and got to see like spotter flags in the ground. Like, oh, I remember seeing that shot on coverage. Like, Girthy threw it that far and had that little left to go.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
So, a couple names top of my head because I just went over this with Christina. We were talking because she's a huge Eagle fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I did not see him signed up. But we did see Brody. We did see Calvin. We did see a lot. And some of the guys who aren't top 10 right now, but 20 players,
They're fun to watch,
they're there. And the women, like, let's help out. Let's do what we can. Enjoy these series. There is going to be one more at the same place.
Is there one more?
There's going to be a couple of more at different
I know
parts.
they're playing Chilai and they're playing like the Riv and everything.
What's the other new one? The ball golf course one?
Shadow Pines.
I think there's supposed to be
I'm
one
excited.
there.
I want to check that one out.
I think.
Yeah.
But he did say right before the pros come again this summer that they're going to have one more there.
Cool. And
So I
you
said
play the
that's
real
one
layout.
I really want to go back.
That one's going to be sanctioned too. Like, that's the one that I want to give a shot.
I
Like,
don't know
Oh,
if it's
okay.
sanctioned or not. I just want to go back because of how we played.
Yeah, I would
just
go
now.
back.
The
I
way-
want to play it again.
The way
and
I
not
saw
in that
it,
snow.
the way I saw it set up is it's gonna be an A pool B pool thing.
Already?
I think it might have
if
just
I
been a
can find
post
it.
that he put
I'm
up.
trying to find
But
two.
it's Parma one day, Shadow Pines the other, and you flip flop.
Oh.
So it's one round each.
Yeah.
Is that the one in
times.
June?
I
AFDO
think so.
on May 13th, the Flex Series number 3 is sanctioned at Chilai.
At Chilai.
Okay.
That one's sanctioned.
4
50
is unsanctioned,
at Ellison. I've never played Ellison before.
and that's all I have right now.
That's all they have in the books.
Yeah.
I mean, it may have just been a post that he put up. Or
It probably is
something.
because it wasn't. He said it's not posted, but we are coming
Yeah.
back here for one more fundraiser. So
Yeah.
if I can't make it to the other ones, we're still going to try to work with them and see what we can do to help out. But
Because from
I wanna go back and
you know
try
what
to
it was.
perform
You know what it was? I saw it was the AM weekend. It's the weekend before.
Yes, the AM weekend
And
is
it's,
exactly what
and
you're
it's
talking
Parma Shadow Pines, and
Okay.
you flop
It is
back and
exactly
forth.
what you're
It's
talking about.
one round at each.
the actual tournament.
Yeah. It's the week before. But still, I mean, that one's going to be sanctioned, and you're talking you get at least one round.
about. Ooh, you
at,
get a hand-eye bag for just playing.
right?
Nice.
It's their mission rig too. Like it's their good
Yeah.
one.
Nice.
So
Maybe I'll play. She was looking at bags. Our studio audience was looking at bags she liked.
Oh,
I
nice.
think
yeah.
she would like the hand-eye bag.
I mean, they look nice.
They look cool.
I'm an all black kind of person, so
You'll take a camo bag, and you know it.
I would always take a camo bag. But like, I don't know.
All right. So let me wrap that up. That's what happened with
What
us.
happened with us?
We're going to talk about the pros now.
Yeah.
Fantastic coverage. They broke another record of number of players within 2 strokes of the lead on final day. Does anybody remember hearing this when they were watching coverage?
Yeah.
There was like maybe 11 or 12 people within a stroke or 2. Mm-hmm. Like, that's
Dang.
amazing.
Yeah.
And all of the top guys were there. Ricky was there. He didn't do well, but he was there.
He dropped out actually.
He
didn't
did.
finish
The
his
injury
round.
did
Yeah,
take
he
over.
He didn't finish his final.
Paul, Eagle, Simon. I'm going to focus on Simon.
Dude's
I
killing
can't
it.
tell you enough how much I love Simon.
Oh, he's so fun.
Struggling on Saturday and Sunday in the front 9. Absolutely struggling. And the comeback on the
did you
back
see
9
his
both
post?
days.
So his tournament score was -20, right?
Yeah.
So for 3 rounds on the front 9, he shot -2. He was -18
he
on the
was-
back 9
He
for the
averaged
rest
6
of the
down on the
tournament.
back.
Yeah.
Like
Every
Could
day.
you imagine? Like he lost by 2 strokes.
Yeah.
You put together a couple more
He had a
birdies
couple
on
of
the
bad
front.
bogeys in the front 9.
The man
Yeah.
parked hole
But-
1 with a soft proxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
492 feet.
cool. Downhill with a proxy is
Like,
really cool.
That's stupid.
Yeah. I really do. I've always loved Simon since the first time I met him at LVC. It was Alicia's birthday. And I was literally just laying there, just watching. I had my bag behind me, and I'm watching pros. I had only started playing that October. Here's February, and I got Simon Lazat
Right.
10 feet in front of me practicing his putts. I'm just watching.
Yeah.
That's Alicia's favorite player. Bob comes running to me, and he's like, "What are you doing?" That's Simon right there. I was like, "Yeah, but, the tent only sells Innova.
Yeah.
They won't let me
Right.
get
By
any."
Discmania
Discmania.
at the time.
Guess who was making Discmania discs at the time?
It's Innova.
I didn't know that.
Come on, man.
Bob slaps me. He's like, "Get your butt up." He's
Yeah,
like, "Let's
right.
go."
Yeah.
They make the Discmania discs. So we go back in the main tent, and I got, it wasn't a Sky Guide. It was the other one. The mid.
MD4.
MD1.
Shadow
Oh,
Titan?
he's an MD1.
Shadow Titan. Got a
Yeah.
Shadow Titan
Yeah,
for
yeah.
her. Ran over. He's putting. And I'm like, Bob acts like he's known the man 10 years.
Bob acts like he knows
Bob,
everybody.
he might. He might actually.
He might know
He
everybody.
might actually.
He might know everybody though.
He walked. Hey Simon, what's going on? Just like he knew him like that. Simon, what's going on? He knows. Bob knows I used to be really good at billiards. Boom.
Yeah.
And he's like, my buddy here can beat you in billiards. That's
Yeah.
a nice intro. I was like, he's like, he probably can. I'm like, he's like, this is Santos. I'm like, how are you making introductions like you know this man? He's like, he didn't want to bother you, but it's his daughter's birthday and you're her favorite player. He's like, oh man, really?
Yeah.
So nice. He's like, I'll write her name. Tell me her name. Happy birthday. Everything. Talks with. And he's getting ready to play his tournament.
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't say, I'll catch you after. You know what I mean? Awesome
Yeah.
guy. I follow Ricky Steeler from the Rochester area.
Yep.
He ends up on Simon's card.
Oh yeah.
So I'm following them. And there's a backup. I forgot. It was on the factory course. It's changed now, but factory course. One of the holes has an elevated tee with the dirt, whatever, and they have it nice and covered. And Simon, being a happy Simon who always has a smile on his face, he looks at it, walks around, and he puts a big smiley face right in the front of that on the tee pad. And he's talking to us and to everyone else, just super chill.
Yeah.
And that just immediately made him my absolute favorite player.
I'll say this, like, only playing for 4 years, like, first watching coverage, like, Simon was cool to watch because, like, he did things that nobody else did. But, like, now Simon's a golfer.
Yeah.
After he had the
After he had
injury
the
and, like,
injury,
spent that
totally
time with
different.
Paul, like...
When they did the swap, and Paul did the Simon lines, and Simon did the Paul
when
lines.
they did, like, ever since then,
Yeah.
Simon was like, holy crap. Like, he shot minus 14 or something in
Yeah,
that video
at
on
that
an 18-hole course. And he's like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
And then he started
You saw
playing
it
like
click
Paul.
with him, right?
And last year, last year, the season after those videos happened, he wins four
wins
times.
4 events or whatever.
And then,
yeah.
and now he's done this. You know, he was decent at Vegas, right? I can't remember exactly where.
He was like top 4 cards at
I
least.
knew he was on lead card.
Yeah.
or-
Yeah, he
or
was
close
on.
to
He was
it at
on.
some
Yeah,
point.
he was on
He was on
coverage a bunch.
right?
Yep.
And then he goes on and gets the number 2.
Yeah.
You know, runner up this week.
Yeah.
Like,
I think he skipped Waco.
with completely different discs than
He did
last
skip Waco.
year.
Yeah. He went back to hang out with his wife
Yeah.
and kid.
I'm not gonna
So-
knock the guy. I got a little one at home. Like, he went home to watch his kid take his first steps.
Yeah.
Like,
I really
Go-
somebody
take a week.
did post online like,
Yeah.
why is he not playing? Like, who are you to judge what a pro does with his
yeah.
family?
And you know what? With the new contract, he can go home whenever he wants.
Yeah.
Why, like, how is he here to service you by not being on coverage that you can
Right.
finally watch? Like, he puts his schedule out way in
Yeah,
advance,
they
like
all
the
do.
rest of the pros.
Right.
And if he drops, he lets people know.
Yep.
Like, who are you to say you're upset that
But
he's
you're
not playing a
But
tournament?
you're not
for
gonna
you
be
to
mad
watch?
at Ricky for not finishing a full tournament in the first 4 weeks.
Right.
Some of these
season, like,
fans are,
come on now.
man. They,
Yeah.
But anyways, that's who I was focused on, and that's who I kind of wanted to cheer on a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are you guys focused on? Like, do you focus on one, or do you just like, I
Nah.
really want this person to win when it's heating up?
When it's heating up, I'm like, oh, it would be cool to see this guy win or that guy win.
Yeah.
But I'm never like, I'm rooting. I'm never rooting for anyone to not play well. I'm rooting for a few people to not play well.
You are. It's okay to say that. I am
I,
sometimes.
I often
I am.
root for Emerson and Nico to not play well.
What? Emerson?
Emerson,
Why Emerson?
I don't like Emerson.
Really?
I don't know why.
It just rubs me the wrong way.
Interesting.
He was pretty chill when we talked to him at OEC. We were trying to work out the thing for Dies. You were working the 10.
I wasn't there
You
with
weren't there.
Emerson.
I was with Lisi.
Emerson rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, I was there with Lisi, and he was super chill. We brought him back into the tent.
He's got a Boston Bruins dyed disc. Like just
Yeah, I
everything
saw that.
about him just
I
rubs me
saw
the
that.
wrong way.
I saw that. So
It's a Lucid Explorer.
I like.
It used to be. It used to be a.
Oh, you're right. It's different now.
It's
'cause
different now. It
Lone
used to
Star.
be a Justice. It used to be a Lucid
Was
Justice.
it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I
mean, it
can
was-
say
it was
I've
certainly
openly
overstable.
rooted against Nico for sure
Yeah.
Oh, for
because
sure.
he
100%.
has talent. He's a good player.
That's
Yeah,
just
he's
not
just an
courteous.
good.
asshole.
Like,
So
he's not
sometimes you
courteous.
don't wanna
Like,
see it.
to me, like
Yeah.
golf and disc golf or whatever
Yeah.
form
Right,
of golf
you
wanna
come
play,
from
like,
ball golf.
That's
Yeah.
I played ball golf for years. Grew
Yep.
up playing it. At one point, was an 11 handicap. Like, played in college.
Yeah, that's good.
Like, stopped playing because my wife said that she would play disc golf instead, and I was like, okay, disc golf it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, that's just me. So like, anybody who's like not courteous or like doesn't seem to have respect for the
Especially
game.
in this game, man. This is such
Like,
a
I don't
Such
care who
a
you are.
tight knit community.
it is.
Like if it came out next week that like Paul Macbeth like did something like disrespectful or whatever to another player or like whatever like during a tournament, I'd be off the Paul train. I like him right now,
I
but
love
it would
him.
take one thing right.
I've been a Paul fan
I love him,
my
but
whole
let's
career.
talk about why. Right? I don't think we covered it yet.
Why
Evelina.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Evelina with the
Yep.
Didn't
5-putt? I don't know what it was.
She, like,
Outlandish
4-putted.
She
number.
4-putted from within
It was
20
she
feet.
was within.
Oh yeah.
15
So-
feet probably. Yeah.
15
and then
feet.
the next day you see the pictures. Paul
You
helping
see the
Evelina.
video of Paul like
Literally
giving her
was
putting
after
tips.
her round, and Paul is holding a putter like fan grip because Marcus didn't even know. Apparently, Evelina power grips her
power grips her
putters.
putters. That's why she
Yeah, I didn't
shanks them
pay
all.
attention.
So like he was like literally showing her like a fan grip underneath.
Yeah. So,
So, I
again,
mean-
a reason to love her. I mean, Paul has done. He's the GOAT. I'll go on record. I
Yeah.
don't know if you have one.
It's Paul.
Versus the
Yeah.
time, whatever it is. Paul's the GOAT.
No, I could have beat the guy Climo beat with my right thumb.
Yeah.
I
could have kicked it this farther than half those guys could throw.
That's a bold claim, Marcus. Hold on.
Give Climo respect. I
Yeah.
wasn't around for that part, but
Do you watch the way some of those guys threw the disc?
I
They didn't know
I
what
do.
they were
but,
doing.
But you know
That's
what?
true.
It's the same thing as me and you playing the course the other day. We all played the same
I think
conditions.
It's very
So,
similar to in regular golf, like Gary Player and Arnold Palmer
Yeah.
are like the greatest of all time, like for their time.
Yeah.
But in the modern era of golf, nobody could sneeze at Tiger Woods.
Yeah, he's-
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
It's,
So-
it's that kind of thing. Like, yes,
Yep.
Ken Climo is the original, and he had a big thing like for the sport when it started to come up.
Yeah.
But as far as modern disc golf is concerned, it's Paul Macbeth.
And look, his foundation, he's building courses all across the world.
Yeah, it's great.
Right?
What
So
he's doing for the
he's
sport
not
is
just
awesome.
taking money and,
And it's-
saying,
and
how
it's-
can I just
Right.
build myself
Yeah.
up?
How can
he
I buy
says,
more McLarens?
how can I make disc golf blow up?
And it started other big pros
Yeah,
to start
Ricky.
their own
Yeah, Ricky.
foundations
That's
in
Ricky's
their
foundation.
own ways.
You can say they can say there's not a rivalry or like it's a healthy competition, but it's clearly a rivalry.
And you play. You know what I mean?
yeah, you play disc golf. Edge.
Run by two pros who really aren't big, like touring pros.
That's Zoe and Dustin, right?
Right. It's
Yeah.
like they play tournaments, but like
Zoe
they're
and
not-
Dyke and
they're not
Dustin
out league
Keegan.
Card,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
I knew it was Zoe. I didn't know it was
Zoe does
Dustin.
coverage now.
Yeah.
Keegan was Dustin Keegan designed the Portland Open courses, if I'm
Yes.
remembering right.
Yes, you're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
okay.
The year that they went to the golf course.
The golf course. Yeah,
Yes.
he designed
Oh,
the
that's
golf
right.
course
Yeah.
Yes,
courses.
and he was also in with the redesign when they made it better for this past year
Yes.
as well. So,
Yeah.
but those are like that's him
Yeah.
right now is
Okay.
those courses.
All right.
But yeah,
But yeah, like
So-
you said, you play Edge. There's all these great
right.
organizations trying to enhance the sport of disc golf and
Yeah.
bring new, like
Yeah.
especially youth into disc golf.
I'll say somebody a little bit under the radar this week didn't end up pulling out the win, but Cole Redolin
Corey
I
Downs
don't know
making
how
a-
he's under the radar.
Yeah, he's
Last
making a
few
name.
weeks,
plays
he
plays.
Well, he plays
an
for
open,
DGA,
Plays
that's
an
why.
open bag.
You
No, I
think
thought
it's
he was
his
on DGA.
sponsor?
Is he?
He is DGA.
He's DGA
Yeah.
now. Yeah, he was Infinite last year. Now he's on DGA.
But-
My mistake.
He on Saturday
Mm-hmm.
shot 7 strokes better than the hot round from
Yep.
the day before.
Yep.
it was different
Right?
wind.
It went,
Doesn't matter.
It matters.
Paul and
Doesn't
Simon
matter.
were at -5, and he went out and shot a -12.
Okay.
And
And
to start round 2.
and what did the rest of them shoot to catch him to go onto the lead card?
That must have been like 7-ish or
Seven.
7 or 8.
Seven or 8. So, he
So he still
four
bested them
strokes,
by
yeah.
5 strokes.
Yeah.
4 or 5
Okay, so
strokes,
the
yeah.
kid, the
No,
talent's
he
there,
got
right?
it.
And he was there putting on some pressure in Waco.
He was up there.
His
in
name was
Waco.
up there,
Yeah,
right?
he's top
So
10 in Waco.
This,
Yeah.
this kid,
Yeah,
like,
no, he's got it.
Yeah.
He's for sure got it.
like if like I think I put it in our team chat. Like if that kid win, like I'm
Yeah.
not mad at all. I'd love
No.
to see that kid
Yeah.
win.
I
rewarded.
liked seeing Vino back up there too. Like
Yeah,
talking about
it's
like the
very
Finnish
fun.
guys.
I just love. I
Um,
love his putt is a reminds me of fencing.
yeah.
After he gets everything
Yeah.
ready, it's just
Just
perfect
stab.
form.
Yeah.
And he's here, and it looks like he's fencing, and then it's just,
Yeah.
bam! I love that putt. I
Yeah.
just
I,
do.
I think honestly, like Kristen Tatar is another breed.
Oh,
but like as far
sad
as like
face.
the MPO, like Europeans are concerned, I think like COVID and not being able to be here like in the groove really
Yeah.
messed them up. Like
Yeah, it did.
Seppo too. Like I mean, I know he's not playing competitively
yeah.
anymore.
Before the COVID thing,
like-
Evelina was charging, and she was winning.
Yeah.
He was
She
winning a
doing
lot.
Stuff.
Yeah, I really think like obviously Kristen has been fine. She's been fantastic out of it.
Let's have a moment of silence for her streak
Right,
of
for
podium
real.
finishes, please.
For real.
Yeah.
But I think
Amazing.
for the European competitors as a whole, I think COVID really messed them up.
You know, I think we had this talk similar. We started this talk with Gambini. We were like, we're going to see if we can
Yeah.
talk to one of the European players
Yeah.
to see their thoughts on it and how they come across, right? But from what you see in the outset, I know we're amateurs. We can't really rate in what they're doing. Even though you gave Nate Sexton tips on his form,
I did.
I'm sure he watched it. What I noticed most is a lot of them are just as good, almost equal forehand as they are with their backhand.
Yes.
Yes.
Right? I mean, some of them can go farther.
Yeah.
But I would just say, like, when you say you need to putt, you need to throw, you need a forehand, you need a backhand.
Yes.
It starts with that forehand and backhand to be able to putt. And those
Yeah.
those European players
If you're
are
not getting
solid.
to the green, it doesn't matter. If you
Yeah,
can
I'll say this: like most European players are very well rounded
Yes.
as far as disc golfers
Yeah.
go.
Yes.
They're not like, for instance, like a James Conrad. Love the guy,
Right.
But
Limited
you
because of the
see
forehand.
3 forehands a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that he can't throw
World
it,
champion.
but he can throw everything else so much better with
Yes.
the backhand.
Yes. I
Yeah.
mean, that's Paige.
Yeah, yeah. Same thing.
You'll see a handful
She-
from
she
her.
won-
She
but-
won for the first time in a while.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
week.
She
Yeah,
did win for the first time in a while.
She's from that. Is she from that area? She's from
She's
Texas.
from Plano. She
Okay,
comes from
she's from
Plano.
Plano.
So
Okay.
Which that means nothing to me.
it's
Yankee boy.
Yeah.
three-ish hours.
Okay.
4 maybe.
What matters is she gets a lot of stuff for being in the woods, not a woods player.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. So
Texas,
for her to,
like
for
the
her to win
Texas
on a
swing,
course
she
like
doesn't
that,
really do good.
Yeah.
I know Texas swing being from Texas.
see.
And then here,
Yeah. We're like
Boom.
Texas is Ricky.
Yeah.
Even though she's from there, it is not
Right.
typically
Not Paige. Yeah, that's a good point.
You know.
and she did perform very well.
She did,
and
yeah.
I don't want to take anything away to Tatar. They were talking about it on the coverage. She came back from a surgery of some sort,
Yeah.
right?
She
she's
almond nerve.
Yeah, she's
Oh.
Or
working
ligament,
her way
sorry,
back.
ligament.
Working her way back. You couldn't tell from the last win she was
Right.
dominant, right? But
Yep.
she was working her way back. So Paige was just doing Paige things, right? She was bombing when she
Also,
could,
Yeah.
putting when she could.
Referring to the surgery thing, Kristen Tatar had surgery and was ripping forehands at Waco into hole 17's green and
See where
knocking
you're
one
going
off the
with
cage
this.
and everything like that. Her forehand looks 8 million times better than Eagle's. Eagle rested and did rehab, didn't have surgery.
He tore his
Didn't
labrum.
get surgery. I
Right?
thought
he,
he did.
he
get
tore
this-
his labrum
okay.
or tore a ligament in his
So
shoulder.
he's up in shoulder and she was elbow.
Elbow, yeah.
So,
Okay.
but like her forehand looks just fine.
Yeah.
Right now, and even this weekend was throwing them all over the place.
She was, yeah.
And like Eagle was like, oh, I got a left hand backhand now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
That
to
is
me.
interesting.
Just for,
And
like,
Eagle's still young age, right? He's your age.
he's got to be 23.
He's 22 or
22?
23. He's
Somewhere
like
in there.
I thought
3 or
he's
4
3 or
years
4.
younger than me.
Okay.
No, he's young. Yeah, he's younger than
Okay.
than I am.
So why not? I mean, he took a long time off.
Knew a long
I
time.
guess like to
Just to
me,
heal, but not surgery. I
Yeah.
really thought it was because surgery, and then he added time for
No,
recovery.
he did not do the surgery.
I don't think he did surgery.
I don't either.
Okay.
So,
so-
to me, like body mechanics wise, like you're right-handed.
Mm-hmm.
Like your brain thinks that way. Period.
Yeah.
To have to teach yourself to throw lefty is a whole
Yeah,
different
I've
ballgame.
seen it.
So the fact that he was able to do that and then perform the way that he did for the European Open, don't get me wrong, the guy's incredible.
He threw
You know what I mean?
in the tournament.
But
left-handed.
you can't tell me that a dominant hand forehand at some point it's got to come back.
I would imagine
I don't
it does.
think. I don't think it really does. I think there was a mind. He's really driven by having a mindset that's
Yeah.
hard to. He's not up for debate or anything like that. And I believe his mindset was, in the long run, the long term, throwing as hard as he was forehand
Yeah.
and backhand equally was not good for him.
No.
So he took this time off, and now he wants to limit the
Right.
forehand. But
I'll say
he's
this.
not just limiting the forehand.
think he still
it's
need-
non-existent.
I'll
right
say
now.
this. I think he still needs both.
I think everyone needs both to
Because
compete
no
at
matter
that
what,
level.
like a left hand backhand, like you would know this, a left hand backhand and a right hand forehand,
Yeah, they're not
don't
the
finish
same.
the same way.
They're not the same.
You know what I mean? Like for him to get his to
Yeah.
finish enough right, he has to start his out on hyzer, where like I can throw an overstable disc really hard straight and then just let it finish at the
Yeah.
end, because of the way the spin and the torque is all involved. Like it's not the same thing. So I would really be interested to see where he goes without that forehand.
I thought he just
So-
gave up. I thought he's just going to go left hand and he'll just
No.
bring it out when it's time because he's still working on it. I don't know.
It's tough to say. I'd have
Yeah.
to talk to him, honestly. And
Yeah.
like that's only stuff that him and his team knows
Yeah.
and things
Right.
like that, which is fine. Like that's he's
At
the
this point,
professional.
At
Don't
this
get me
point,
wrong.
I'm thinking Discmania needs to have the team put together because they're running out of people.
Yeah.
When Simon leaves,
They're going to sign Gannon.
I
You
would-
think that's where he's going?
I agree.
That's what
with
Drew
that.
said. Drew's been right about everybody else.
I agree with that. Drew has been. If you look at the early off-season tweet that Drew gets,
Drew
to put out,
wasn't guessing. Okay,
Right.
Drew had inside information.
So there you
I'll
go.
let it
Drew was
go
right.
He's been
So
right about
Gannon to
everybody
Discmania
else.
confirmed.
I don't think it's confirmed now. I think having to redo all of this shit that he's
Yeah.
going through, and now it's out there.
Now
there may be
maybe-
a little bit of a bidding war for him.
Yeah, now he
just
might
won.
get a little more money.
He just won. He won 2 weeks ago before the Arizona,
Yeah.
right?
Memorial.
So, yeah, he's winning. So his price is only going up.
Yeah.
Prodigy's not going to be able to afford him.
No.
So, does it mean automatically Discmania? I don't think it does. I think Discraft is in play, and I think, who was it? The Texas one that was throwing out money.
Star?
Lone Star.
Lone
They
Star.
were saving
They're
money
not in
because
play.
they were supposed to make a very large splash,
Yeah.
and I don't think it happened by having Nico or
Nico
the
and
crew that they
Emerson
had.
and
No.
Robert Burridge.
Yeah. So I'm just saying you're saying it's in
It's been
write it.
Done deal.
Yeah, I don't think it is. We'll see what happens. I hope he leaves Prodigy.
To me, when the lawsuit thing first happened, I'm like, now I don't care either way. I really don't. But it kind of seemed to me like, why is he grasping at straws? Like, it looked to me like Gannon wanted to get out of the contract so that he could go somewhere sooner. Like he's talked to
And you pay.
Discmania, and they're like, as soon as you get out,
Yeah.
let us know.
But usually there's a buyout involved in that, where the other company will buy out the rest of the
This
contract.
media got $1 million for Simon.
Well, here's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking is I'm thinking Gannon said, what would it take for me to get bought out, and they won't let him because they know that all they have left is Kale and KJ, and they're not comfortable with that.
I don't think that's true.
So-
I don't think that's true because I never thought that was true.
Yeah.
I just knew that Prodigy just had problems with their
Right.
players for a reason, right? I don't know if it's a money thing that they can't afford or they just have a hard line where they say we're not going to pay anyone this regardless.
That's like the
Right.
Innova
I don't
thing.
know what it is. Yeah,
Right.
People
Innova doesn't
quote
pay
unquote
anybody.
leave Innova all the
Yeah.
time, but like
They just maybe they have a
it's-
hard line.
Honestly, it's like 4-1 the people leave Innova that people
Yeah.
go to Innova.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Haley King's the only notable player that's gone to Innova
Recently.
in
Well,
the last
besides
3
Ricky.
years.
Ricky went to Innova for 2 years.
yeah, and
So
then he
since-
left.
And then
let
left.
me put it this way: since I've known disc golf,
Right.
Yeah.
Ricky's only ever left.
Right.
So
Yeah, well, yeah.
Paul left. In fact, I thought Paul was always a Discraft guy.
Right.
Like
Which
when I
is
started
crazy.
watching coverage, it was
Yeah.
Paul's first year
Yeah.
playing for Discraft. So, like I don't know.
You didn't,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
go-
had a Paul Macbeth 4-time Rock 3.
Yeah.
Didn't think it was anything special. Traded it to a guy for like a Wraith or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
you know?
I have murdered out McPro yards.
Right.
And that's how I
I
knew.
have plenty of
But like
McBride yards that I used to putt with.
I didn't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I hope. I don't know. I
Same thing. Like I don't.
Prodigy's is Prodigy holding him back? He's winning.
No, it's not holding him back.
He had good reasons. They did not come through with the rookie thing. He has good reasons.
Yeah.
They're not, and he knows he's worth exponentially more. To
I think
somebody
they
else.
know that. I think they know that he's leaving, so they want to hold on to him at least for the duration of his contract.
I
Right.
get that, but they didn't fulfill their side. They didn't give him the rookie disc. They
Right.
didn't give
Yeah.
him the torch. They're shorting him on his money. They're
Right.
shorting him on the reports.
Yeah.
And then when it comes public, it's like, oh shit,
Well, I
we're
think,
following
like,
our contract.
I
You
think-
can't let him out.
I think now they won't. You know what I mean? Like
Don't
he
short
comes
him?
out and says it
But
because
can
now they
they?
won't short him because he's
can
he's
they?
so public.
Like there was a window to make it right, and they
I
missed
don't.
that
Yeah,
window.
I didn't read too much
So
into it.
can they? There's
I
actually
don't know.
there's a
There's
disc
YouTube
golf
video.
attorney.
Disc golf lawyer.
Yes, and I
think
watched
on-
his, and he
on
was saying
YouTube.
a very good case for Gannon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because it was a breach of contract on their side numerous times, and when he contacted them and said you have this many number of days to change it, and like you have 30 days to change it, and on day 30 they didn't have any changes.
right.
I
Yeah.
guess that's legally. He said he has his out there,
Right.
but they want to hold him because they tried to say, well, it was verbal.
Like well, yeah, they said
Well,
the reports
But
like
that's binding.
then they
It's
show
within a
texts.
text, which is binding.
That's binding. So
yeah, I guess because like it's hard to say like you can't sign somebody and say oh when you get your Rookie of the Year disc like you can't
Right.
you can't guess that. You know what I mean? So
Right.
like, that part is definitely a verbal, but again, like when you have the texts and
Yeah.
the receipts, I guess to say that, then
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
So we were arguing about the.
What are we arguing about? We're coming up to time here.
We were arguing about
Always.
the chase card, but I was trying to look it up and I couldn't find what it was. It might have been Klein and Burr being the first chase. I couldn't find it.
Oh.
It
Yeah.
was coverage.
It's
was
so
trying to
if
figure
you're talking
out-
about Klein and Burr, it's the first time that an Elite Series event has been won back-to-back weeks from the chase card.
Yeah.
So Klein did it at Waco, Burr did it at just
Texas,
this weekend.
Austin.
It's not going to matter when I remember, but I do know they because what I saw in the coverage when they gave up the thing,
Yeah.
it was Ken Climo did this, and now Bird did this.
Yeah, so the last two times
Bird's
Gannon
last two
won,
wins
yeah,
were from the chase.
right, but there was a week in between.
But
There
I
was Waco in
think
between.
And it
I
wasn't
think
a
the
pro
one with
tour.
Climo was he had back-to-back wins from
from
chase.
Yeah,
But there might have been something in the middle of his where he played or won something in between.
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know.
I'd have to see it.
I
It was
didn't
something
catch
that just came up, and it's like I see the image from the
The-
coverage
yeah,
that I'm
the ticker.
watching
Yeah.
because I was racing home,
Right.
upset at my day, and that's what I remembered. That's what I tried to talk about.
Upset at your win.
Saying it like that just sounds shitty, but yes, I was
So
upset.
dumb.
I didn't want to go. Why is it dumb?
Terrible.
And then he was
person.
miserable all day yesterday, and he had a great time today at putting league. And then I was miserable at putting league
We didn't
today.
even talk about that.
So, okay, let's. I mean, we're up against
We're
time.
up
but
against time.
listen, we have to really give some good videos of your putting so people know what we're talking about. So I can't say that I judge Marcus putting. Like usually, I'm like, well, Marcus just puts better than me when we're out on the course, But I'm whooping Marcus every time we play here.
In putting league, yeah,
In
every
putting.
time. I do
And-
not
and
cash.
It's not team. It's just heads up, putt to putt, and his style of putt, from what I can see, what other people see, it's a lofty putt. Do you
A little
admit?
bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a lofty putt, and outdoors, you have the wind, you have the variables, and you think that putt should not work.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets out on the course and he starts making putts.
Yeah.
He comes indoors with no wind variable, nothing to affect you whatsoever, and he's just shorting, banging, missing, left, like.
Yeah. I mean,
It's not
Mental?
the wind. It's not the wind. It's mental. It's all mental. The more putts I throw, the worse I get.
you saw me today.
Yeah, that wasn't very good either.
Like we played
Yeah.
half a match just messing around, and I was
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
But I guarantee, like last Tuesday, I was out in the wind at Como, and I made 3 or 4 30-footers.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I actually had a chance for good putts, I did
Yeah.
decent
Yeah.
yesterday. But like here, my putt has measurably
Yeah.
Improve your
Improved.
outdoor putt.
I'll say this for me, like
to a
it's
point where I'm a better putter than
Yeah.
Marcus. And in the beginning, that wasn't happening. Like it wasn't even
Yeah.
close. And now I've beat him back to back weeks,
Yeah.
and you can see the change that's happening.
for me, it's
And
a
then
range
it's
thing.
all to fight and lose to Tracy.
Go out to the
Yeah.
course, and then we'll talk.
For me, it's a range thing because like when
That's
I
a
see
distance thing. But if I catch you at a short course,
Yeah.
you're in trouble, buddy.
when I see the basket from the tee and like it looks so far, and then I get up to putt and I'm like, oh, this is close. Bang.
That's how I
you know
feel.
what I mean? But like now when you're here and you only ever see the basket from 30 feet, you're like, wow, 30 feet's far.
That's how I feel.
I feel like 25 feet is a lot farther than 30. The pressure on 25 and
But
missing
so-
It's the
them,
mental
But
pressure.
again,
both
but like
missed.
when I'm
like
looking at
a lot,
each
yeah.
when
at
I'm looking
25.
at the basket this small at 400 feet, and then I get up to my 25-footer, I'm like, oh, this is
Oh,
I
the
get
gym.
what you're
Bang.
saying, but it didn't apply.
That's the
Just-
outside
It applies
thing
for
to
me totally.
No,
that
I
basket
think
feels
I'm with
huge
Marcus
when I'm
on
on the
this
course.
Mine has changed just from a confidence thing because it used to be somewhat from like 30 to 25. Like it was like, I don't want to do a comebacker. Now I'm with confidence. I'm hitting them. So now I'm comfortable. So when I see that 25-footer that I've seen from here,
Yeah.
1,000 times now I'm walking up to these and I'm just hitting them.
Yeah, I mean,
But
It's-
in here,
again, I think it's
that
mental.
25-footer, especially when you and I, we have this
Yeah, we-
rivalry thing,
Yeah.
but the pressure is on because we don't want to lose and come on here and say, damn, I lost to him.
Yeah.
And then we're both missing 25-footers.
Yep.
And it's like, it's really
Just
annoying.
the longer I putt, the worse my putting gets. I only practice putting in increments of like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that's all you're focused on putting on the course is maybe a total of 15 minutes.
Yeah, but you're trying to build the this is what's
I have
translated
the muscle
for me.
memory.
Well, you've been playing a lot longer. Yeah. Yeah.
Then I think about, oh, I need to push off. And then I push off my back leg and I shank one right.
Yeah.
I'll say this:
Yeah.
when I practice putting at home, whether it's inside or outside, my first 5 putts, I throw stuff from 60.
Do you? I do the
Because
opposite.
it forces me to get my legs involved early, and I'm throwing like full speed with my arm, because then I get close and I'm doing 20, 25, 30,
Yeah.
35,
Yeah.
and now I'm half the distance. Everything looks huge. My
Yeah.
arm's up to speed. My legs are warmed
That's a
up.
hard,
But,
that's a
my,
hard distance to start.
That's a
at.
good way
my
to think
first
about it.
things that I'm not trying to make them,
Yeah, no, I get it. I
but
get it.
like I'm forcing myself to exert that 60-foot, 70-foot of energy first,
That's a good way
just to
think
like
about
wake myself up for the day.
Yeah, here, I show up. I'm probably the furthest person coming.
it. Yeah.
It's forever to get here, and
Yeah.
I'm late. And Marcus loves. Well, last guy doesn't get to practice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Last 2 weeks, how'd that work out?
It doesn't matter. It's
Last
not. It's
guy
not
was the-
you. It's me.
Last guy was the 1 seed.
I think
I
it's
didn't
mental.
practice either. I didn't warm up.
I figured during that is warm-ups, right? When you're doing your seeding, that's warm-ups,
That's warm ups. Yeah.
right? I got lucky.
Yeah, you
Or
won-
not,
you
depending
won
on how you
most
want to
of
look
them.
at it. Still ran into Tracy and lost, but I had the 1 seed. I beat Marcus, who really worried me. I had a big lead and then hit the 25-footer where I just started missing everything again.
Yep.
Mental. He climbed all the way back.
Yeah, it's definitely mental. But I would agree with Marcus. Like outside where it goes from, that's a far shot to now I get to jam this 20-footer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just make them.
The individual chain link looks big.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have to wrap this up. We're up against time, but let's talk about anything coming up next week. Besides any,
Jeff and I are going to practice Houghton.
is there going to be some footage
Jeff
of that?
says Jeff's going to film it. He wants
Yeah,
to.
I mean, we can make some shorts and things like
Yeah.
that and get those out, whether it's on D2DG or mine
Yeah,
or whatever.
both.
Okay.
Both, honestly.
Yeah, we have them tied, right? They're linked. If
They're
you
linked
see one,
together. Yeah. So
yeah.
Jeff's channel shows up
We'll
on our
do that
channel.
with more. Jeff is also helping us more with the socials, so we're going to be driving our socials up. So as we say that, we always want to remind you, like, subscribe, hit the bell, get the notifications when Marcus
Sure.
does
Tell your
have time.
friends. Tell your mom.
Yeah, tell everyone.
My mom watches this.
Yeah, I get the thumbs up from your mom. I
know.
love seeing that. I was like, yeah, she's watching. She wants to see how her son's doing.
Yeah.
But everybody should. Like, we're growing, and we're now that we've reached our target of being close, and within the 1 week.
Yes,
where
we're 1 week.
here,
We're
a couple days out.
recording Monday, releasing Thursday.
Yeah. And eventually, pretty soon, it's warm. We have daylight. We're gonna move mobile. We're gonna have we're working towards a live event, and that's the big baller putting event
Yeah.
that we're working
Right.
towards.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can pull that off. If not,
Maybe do some commentary for that.
Probably.
Probably.
It would be interesting.
it would be because the people that are committed at the time, like they're interested.
Yeah.
If we get the enough number, we're at 12 right now.
Yeah.
We want to get to 16 to have that solid number.
Right.
If we have to do 12, we'll do 12.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's easier to do a bracket with 16.
Yes.
Yep.
So if we get that, then it'll be fun. And we do have enough volunteers to make the UB thing a go. We are
Sweet.
at 7 people. So
Cool.
that's what we needed
Yep.
for a full
Full-
video production that we're actually going to try to put out. So
Cool.
that's going to be an actual tournament style, 1 round,
Yeah.
recorded.
Decent
Gonna-
weather.
Decent weather.
Decent weather.
It has to be because
Yeah.
Santos won't play otherwise.
I will. The drone won't fly though,
Oh, that's right.
and you're on catch cam, so
Yeah.
make you do the work.
Let's say we gotta
Nobody
decide
likes
who's
catch
playing,
cam.
right?
We're gonna decide who's playing. Yeah, we got to see who they have playing. We don't want to just put
No, right.
4
yeah.
MPO players up against 2 MPO and
Right.
Schmo.
Schmo.
I mean, sorry, Schmo. Just an
Sorry,
example.
buddy.
He's an MA3 player, so it's
Yeah.
a thing. So
All right.
thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you, Jeff, for joining us.
Thank you, Jeff, for
Thanks for
joining us.
having me.
Again, he's team member D2DG. You'll see him again. Check his link. Check his
Yep.
videos.
Follow him on socials.
Follow him on
For sure,
socials
for
also.
sure.
It's one big happy family. So we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.